Filipinos keep up the tradition of honoring their dead, trooping to cemeteries nationwide despite the rain. More people are catching a flu-like illness that causes cough, cold, and fever. Those with symptoms are advised to mask up. The hydroelectric plant of Angat Dam will be shuttered starting November 6. Will this affect the water supply of Metro Manila and neighboring provinces? Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. Filipinos across the country flocked to cemeteries today to visit their departed loved ones. In Metro Manila, thousands were up with the sun at the Manila North Cemetery. Visitors queued up even earlier than 5 a.m. in the morning. The crowd grew over the next 2 hours until light rains poured over the area. Over 300 police officers have been deployed at the cemetery where over 800,000 visitors turned up. More are expected tomorrow, All Souls Day. Meanwhile, the management of Manila South Cemetery estimated foot traffic at more than 400,000 for All Saints Day. This is double of last year's 200,000 when there were health protocols and restrictions in place due to COVID-19. Gates to the cemetery closed at 5 p.m. earlier, while guests can only stay up to 7. The cemetery opens again tomorrow at 5 in the morning. Meantime, over 50,000 people visited Manila Memorial Park today. Some chose to stay the night there and went home earlier to avoid the influx of people. On Thursday, the cemetery will only be open until 6 in the evening. Over at the Loyola Memorial Park, somewhat 10,000 people have visited so far, much smaller than the 100,000 recorded in 2022. The administration explained that many already paid homage to their dearly departed before November 1st to avoid the rush. Marikina City is implementing a one-way traffic scheme in some parts of Bonifacio Avenue until November 2 to ease anticipated traffic. At the libingan ng mga bayani in Taguig, the first family held a mass at the tomb of former President Ferdinand Marcos. Among those present were the President, First Lady Liza Araneta, former First Lady Imelda Marcos, and Senator Amy Marcos. Earlier, our Laila Pangilinan made rounds in Dangwa, Manila. For those planning to buy flowers for All Souls Day tomorrow, take note of the prices in this report.
On All Saints Day, Dangwa is more relaxed compared to its chaotic scene a few days back. But for those who are still in search of flowers to offer to their dearly departed loved ones, the most popular one-stop shop in Manila is the place to be for those on a budget. Prices of various flower arrangements here have been slashed to almost half the original price. From 2,000 pesos, elegant floral spreads can be bought for only 1,500 to 1,000 pesos. Stall owners say that they've put the arrangements on sale to avoid wasting their stocks. Among the customers who availed of these special prices is Grace, who was willing to travel for an hour and a half from Bacoor, Cavite.
Yung presyo ng bulaklak, pasok sa budget, and then less yung mga tao, hindi ganun ka-crowded.
From 700 pesos, prices of local white orchids dropped to 500 pesos today, while half a dozen costs 300 pesos. Local Malaysian mums are also on sale from 170 compared to yesterday's 400 pesos. From 200 pesos, a small pot or basket of arranged Malaysian mums can be bought for 150 to 100 pesos. Presi was already in Dangwa yesterday, but only bought a small pot of mums for her deceased husband just today.
Wala po kasi kami sahod sa ngayon, parang bali lang po sa amo na. Napipili ko po mga halagang 400 to 50 ganun. Kaya sa mura lang po ang kaya.
For those who will be giving roses to the dead, a bundle or 10 pieces of China roses will cost you 400 pesos, while local roses are a good buy at 200 to 350 pesos per 2 dozens. Carnations are best sellers this season, and it costs 600 pesos per 20 pieces. Daisies and gerberas are also among the top faves, which costs 300 pesos per bundle. Flower shop owners said that the Undas season this year are just as blooming as their colorful flowers in terms of sale.
This season, we are blessed. Hindi lang kami, ma'am, ha? Lahat. Lahat. Napansin ko lahat kasi maraming namimili. Kahapon, ang daming namimili. Nasa mga 80%.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, We Are One News.
President Marcos also sent flowers to the Aquino family's mausoleum in Manila Memorial Park. 2 wreaths of white flowers were placed at the tombs of former Presidents Cory Aquino and Noynoy Aquino, as well as former Senator Ninoy Aquino. He also sent flowers to the family last year. The Marcoses and Aquinos are historically political rivals. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. A flu-like illness is going around the country. The health department has so far reported over 151,000 cases of the virus. That's up 50% from those logged last year. Among those who had flu-like symptoms was a family in Caloocan, including their baby. All of them had flu vaccines but still suffered from coughs, cold, and fever. A medical expert says vaccines do not guarantee immunity.
Malaking help ang flu vaccine, but we always say wala namang 100% na bakuna. So, and hindi din lahat ng virus ay nasa loob ng vial na yon, no? So, meron tinatawag tayong quad, no? Or yung 4, or meron ding 3 in 1. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng virus nandoon. Kung yung natama sa iyo ay hindi kasali doon sa vaccine na naibigay sa iyo, siyempre makakalusot yon. Ngayon, kunwari, yung same yung virus na nakuha mo doon sa vaccine mo, at least may chance na mas less yung effect, like lesser fever, lesser cough. So may tulong talaga.
Angat Dam's hydroelectric power plant will be shut down for repairs. Bulakan Dam is scheduled for major repairs and will be closed for 2 months starting November 6 until January 6 next year. The power plant's operator, Angat Hydropower Corporation, said the closure is part of efforts to modernize the facility. The MWSS has assured residents of Metro Manila and nearby provinces that water supply will not be affected. In a statement, the agency said the repairs will prolong the lifespan of the plant and will stabilize water supply for domestic and irrigation use.
56 years old na itong dam na to, no? So nitong 2018, inumpisahan yung modernization. Ang ginawa po ay nilaparan po yung kanyang dam para mas matibay at para in preparation na din yung tinatawag na big one o yung malakas na lindol. So yung gagawin na rehabilitation works na mag-umpisa nitong November 6 sa main pen stock ng turbina, ina-assure po ng MWSS na hindi naman po maapektuhan yung supply ng tubig sa Metro Manila.
We're still high on Gilas Pilipinas' historic campaign at the Asian Games. Gilas patron and Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, Chairman Emeritus Manny V. Pangilinan sits down with Cheryl Cosim to discuss the national team's Asian gold. MVP also talked about his partnership with rival company San Miguel Corporation through its chief, Ramon Ang. Watch this.
Sir MVP, umpisahan ko po dito sa nangyaring Asian Games sa China. Was that a pleasant surprise? In-expect nyo ba na makaka-gold tayo?
No, not really. Everybody's happy, including myself, to be pleasantly surprised, no, with the performance. Considering that really the team was formed at the very last minute, literally. And it's a tribute to the players, it's a tribute to the coaches, especially Coach Tim, no, for having accomplished what they did to be champions again after 61 years. It's a great achievement, and I think 3 days ago the president honored them with and the other athletes that won in the Asian Games in a parangal at pasasalamat event. So that was very nice of him.
Yeah.
So you could see he was also very happy with the outcome and the performance of our athletes, especially Gilas.
Ano pa po yung nakikita nyo, yung vision nyo pa po sa ating Philippine team sa Gilas Pilipinas?
Well, I don't know what you mean by the best. After the World Cup, I think our ranking moved down, which is a good thing. Like this, I guess it's like a goal score from, I think we were number 41. We now, assigned the standards, we're now number 38, so 3 notches better. I think it will take a bit of time. Depends on what you mean the best. But so long as after each World Cup tournament that our rankings drop, no, we improve. Therefore, in relation to the other countries, certainly not my lifetime will I see them in the top 20. I think so. It will take time, preparation, a lot of things. No, should happen, and but even in the case of World Cup, the final team composition was not complete until at least maybe, or at most maybe 2 weeks before the actual tournament. You don't do that in a tournament like the World Cup. No, you really have to be playing together as a team several months before the World Cup, if not years. No? So it behooves us to do planning already, because I was told that the qualifiers for the 2027, I think, 2027 in Qatar will start in February next year. So again, the question besetting us, sino ba yung sino yung coach, sino yung players. When we put our minds to it, look at the local organizing committee of the World Cup. I thought the arrangements went very well. No complaints from FIBA. Everything went quite well. No? Yeah. So if the Filipinos put their minds to a task, especially a national task as the World Cup hosting, we can do very well.
Pinanood nyo ang opening next to each other with Mr. Ang.
And the president.
A very rare sight. Para po sa two titans of business and with rival blocks sa PBA. Can you share us po what brought that about? Yung support po ng SMC Group sa World Cup.
I think it's common sense and a strong sense of patriotism for the country. I think you must give credit to Ramon and to the San Miguel Group for realizing that and accepting that we should transcend these rivalries. People are surprised because we have been competing in the past, and we have different personalities, right? And but you know, it's in many ways, Ramon is a fun person to be with because he's very chatty.
Now he sits on the board of Metro Pacific Investment Corporation. Ang sinasabi po ay may mga iba pa bang joint ventures? Because yun daw pong entry, nabasa ko rin sa article ni si Mr. Ang, yung entry po ni Mr. Ang is reportedly a prelude to the eventual merger of the two groups' toll road business?
Well, napag-uusapan yun between the two groups. So, nothing definitive yet, but there is keen interest on both sides, in part driven by the fact that I think hopefully it will revive interest in our stock market, which I think needs a large company to be listed and a new one to be listed.
Catch the full interview with MVP this week on Long Take at 3:30 p.m. only here on One News. And One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.